The world's third largest auto component maker, ZF Group, is in the middle of a massive transformation. And the man at the helm of the affair is Mr. Matthias Miedrich, the global CEO of the company, to talk to us about the way ahead for the group. Matthias, thank you very much for talking to Autocar Professional.
Absolutely, it's my pleasure.
5 years into into taking charge of the company, how's been the journey so far? It's been difficult last few years for the group. You've had to take some hard calls. Help us understand the first 5 months and what can one expect in the future from the group's perspective.
Absolutely. So as you know, we are not only one of the largest auto component suppliers in the world, we're also a big company in Germany and Europe, where our headquarters is. And of course, with the market development in the automotive market in Europe, but also North America, we, as other companies, have to adjust to that. So what we are doing is a restructuring, a performance-oriented program for those regions, which I can already say was quite successful in the year of 2025. And now, of course, we're looking into the future, into growth, where we can, utilize our strengths. And India is one of the key regions that we have identified to focus on.
Right. You had to take some hard calls over the last few years, right-sizing, shutting down factories. Is the hard part over? Now the way ahead for ZF Group is to grow, invest, and since you mentioned India, what role could India play?
Right. So I would say we still need some time to go through the hard parts, but it's in certain parts of our business, in certain regions, which Europe is at the heart of it. We have been doing hard measures, but these measures are paying off, and we kind of focus now on the growth starting now. But this growth will not happen in Europe. Our group today has 50% of its revenue in Europe, while Europe is only 20% of the global automotive market. And of the rest 80, India is the prime spot for growth, for technology development, and for a very booming market that is also outside of the automotive. 30% of our revenue is industrial, is defense, is wind, is other topics, agriculture, where also our technologies play a role in India. And so I'm very happy and excited after this week that I spent here with the local team to see what kind of chances we have.
Right. Your first visit here after taking charge. You've been around for a few days. What are the initial feelers about the market, and what potential does India hold for you in the future? I mean, are we talking about exporting more, growing faster, developing here? I believe you were at the tech center in Hyderabad just a day back. So how does India's role grow from here? Revenue, profitability, investment, sourcing, contribution to global?
Absolutely. So, when we planned this trip, I was a little bit afraid because there was a very tough agenda given to me. And now at the end of this week, I am not exhausted, I'm excited. And that should tell you already a lot about that. So for us, India has two big advantages or opportunities for the group. First, the local market itself. I already said it. There it's poised for growth in all of the aspects because of the consumer demand, of the rising GDP, the government support, all of the boxes are ticked. And we want to participate in the different markets. For us, in the Indian market, we see growth opportunities, especially in the passenger car side, because in commercial vehicle, we're already quite sizable. Very strong, thank you for that. And we have also on the rail side of things, topics are going on, as well as wind energy, where we also provide the transmissions for wind. That's one part of the story. The other part is India can support the group globally. And the new FTAs that have been agreed and will come in place, they help us a lot by using India not only as a hub for sourcing, so suppliers from India to help us for our global business with their competitiveness. We will also investigate producing automotive components in India as ZF and then exporting it into the rest of the world, especially Europe, which is now enabled by that. So you can say there's a twofold growth story that is in front of us in India.
Right. A lot happening actually at the ZF Group. In your assessment, what are the key pillars of the future in terms of what ZF needs to change? Cost structure is something that you're addressing. Speed, flexibility are two factors, do you think, that it'll help in the future?
I think that you already touched the first one. Speed and flexibility is extremely important because it's catering to the fast developing market, but also flexibility. We live in an unpredictable world. When I started my career many years ago, it was more linear. Now we have a very unlinear change of things. So that's the first thing. The second thing is focus.
Yeah.
I believe that companies will not be successful that have a broad, ambitions everywhere.
Right.
So we as ZF, we want to focus ourselves where we are good in. We are enabling motion. That's our core of our strategy, and that's where we focus on, and I think that will be a successful way forward.
Fantastic. Saying no to things is also very important.
Yes.
What about alliances and partnership? Do you think that's the way ahead? I mean, you took some critical calls, you exited some of the businesses, you sold some of the businesses, but as you look at growth potentially in India, alliances and partnership, is that a way ahead? Would you look at more opportunities to partner someone, acquire companies here as you look at accelerated growth in the country?
I believe in ecosystems because the challenge is simply too big that two shoulders can carry it. So we need many shoulders of partners that can do this with us.
Right.
We already have a history in the last couple of years to start successful partnerships. We're also looking into India on all fronts, on the technology side, customer side, but also it could be maybe with competitors. Sometimes it's good to unite in a certain way to create scale to serve the customers better. So the answer is yes, we're very open to that.
Fantastic. Just one last question. The two massive disruption that is impacting the global automotive industry is the rise of China and how they are playing a critical role in the global automotive ecosystem. And second is AI. If I were to get your views on both these factors, and how does ZF Group intend to leverage that or counter it if it is a challenge?
Right. Maybe start with AI. There's clearly a leveraging aspect that we have. We don't need or want to counter it because at the end of the day, we are producing physical products. So we are not kind of endangered through AI, but AI can enable us to be better, to be faster, more cost effective, and serve our customers better. And that's what we're doing on all fronts. And especially also in India, we have a huge expertise in that matter. And there was just recently, I think yesterday, announced the India-German AI partnership that will help us even more to accelerate on this one.
So it's got to be a new way of life, living with AI, isn't it?
Absolutely. It's not only with our engineers, our people in our plants and everywhere. It starts with me as a CEO. I have to relearn how to use these tools to be a good leader, and I expect this from all of our teams globally. So we embrace the AI technologies. Now on China, of course, China is a global superpower, meanwhile, especially in the automotive, especially in the electric vehicle sector. Right. We have quite some market share in China, also with this, local Chinese OEMs, the newcomers in the markets that come from, not from the automotive sector, but from electronic software, smartphones. And we want to position ourselves as their enablers also in Europe when they are, undoubtedly start exporting. I think we can be even more their partners there, and we have already quite some successes in there. So also here, we try, if you want, to grab the bull by the horns and see the opportunity of the expansion of the Chinese OEMs rather than a threat for us.
Right. You spent 6 years in China. What do you make of China's speed? It's actually something that the global automotive industry is trying to embrace, but it comes with its own set of risks. So what do you think of China's speed, having understood the region and the country very well?
So undoubtedly in China, there is a different speed, but also we have to acknowledge that there is a different requirement set as well in China. The Chinese OEMs have different procedures in terms of validation, in terms of testing, because the end consumer has different expectations. But nevertheless, it's a true fact that also in Europe and in North America, we can learn from that China speed. But I would say, if I look to our teams in India, maybe it's time to speak about India speed, because my expectation is that it will be minimum as fast as China.
Just lastly, on the risks and challenges as you embrace on your journey towards restructuring the group, like you said, still some time away before you conclude your plan. What are the risks and challenges that you anticipate from now, and where can India contribute?
So risks and challenges come alongside with what we see in our market today. So the high volatility, that's pretty much the biggest risk that we see. To predict the future is impossible, so you have to be flexible. You have to align with whatever comes. And I think the way to go is to focus. You cannot do everything and be flexible at the same time. You have to focus, be flexible, then you will master the challenges. And for India, for us, that's, first of all, we also want to embrace the DNA of the Indian speed and flexibility on a global level.
Fantastic.
But also, as I said, it will be a powerhouse for us, not only in the local market, but also supporting the group as a source of high technology, cost competitive components and products that will be sold under the brand name of ZF globally.
Fantastic. I think on that note, I mean, you're undergoing a massive change, and your optimism is quite infectious. I really wish you all the best, and congratulations on the initial first 6 months and the performance that you've achieved.
Thank you very much. It was a pleasure.
Thank you.